6 minutes after the hour, 5 o'clock. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. What you been up to? What you been doing? How was your weekend? The show is called Inside the Zone. I'm your host, Lady D. Another beautiful Monday. It's beautiful here. There are other parts of the world that are experiencing weather conditions, severe adverse weather conditions. But here in New York, it's good so far. How about that? Pinch yourselves. Say, I'm here, I'm blessed, and things are going on. Hurricane Matthew. Oh boy. I welcome you to the show. Another Monday. I'm feeling so good. I'm here. Can you imagine? I'm looking forward to being here with you, spending time with you. 2 hours. That's a whole lot of time. Linkage Radio 101.5 FM. Did you hear that? Linkage Radio 101.5 FM. Yeah. Welcome everyone celebrating a birthday today. Wedding anniversary. You gave birth today. Someone gave birth today somewhere in the world. You can always call me and let me know a life entered the world today. Life in a transition to the other side. Welcome to the show. It's called Inside the Zone. It's the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city, walk, drive, and reside. So 18 minutes after 5 o'clock. Are you home? Are you running home? Are you running somewhere? Running here, running there, running everywhere? Feeling today like a chicken without a head. You couldn't bother to do all your chores over the weekend, and so you had to go to work today. Now you're saying, man, I gotta go home to do and do all sorts of things you didn't get to do over the weekend. There are times, when you just don't feel like it. You get up today and you say, boy, I'm sorry, but I'm not touching you today. We do have our moments, don't we? Please call someone out and let them know the Monday Drive is on. With your host, Lady D. Hey to all my cabbies, my cabbie Mark and Turner and Mr. Stanley. You got a cabbie of your own? I have 3 cabbies. In fact, 4. 1 went to Jamaica. 5. I don't know where the other was. Please let someone know the show is on. It's all about news, talk, features, music. That's what we do here each and every Monday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. The show is brought to you by Country Kitchen Palomana. Ever heard about them? They're smack in the middle of the Beijing Center. Palomana Plaza. Right here in the Bronx. Hey to all the people from Mount Vernon, New York. That's where you reside. The Monday Drive got so much for you. Country Kitchen Palomana, www.countrykitchenrestaurants.com. They got their lunch special from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Jerk chicken, jerk salmon, jerk chicken tenders, jerk shrimp, and salmon combo jerk steak. Call won't you 914-635-5000. Reminding you, this is Linkage Radio 101.5 FM, another glorious Monday that we have been blessed with, and I'm inviting you to call me. Share in the discussions this afternoon. Headlines of interest that piques your interest. That's what I'm talking about this afternoon. And I'd like to say hi to all my usual peeps, all the peeps, I'm saying peeps. All the people who are always saying hi and calling in and sharing with me. I want to say good afternoon to you. And those of you who've always been listening to Linkage Radio 101.5 FM and listening to this show called Inside the Zone. I'd like to welcome you. The telephone numbers to call me here in the studio are 914-600-4228. That's our Skype line. Wherever you are, you can call on the Skype line. 914-600-4228, 914-202-4934. That's 914-600-4228, 914-202-44. Also, if you would like to catch me on the run, dial 712-432-6858. That's 712-432-6858. Dial the numbers, and of course you can just listen to me while you're running around. And if you're saying, oh my gosh, I wish I could Lady D, sometimes it's very challenging for you. Nevertheless, someone will say, guess what? You missed the show today because we were talking about, and don't bother brag too hard now, just talk about it. We'll be talking about Hurricane Matthew, and, it should make landfall sometime today. A lot of people have been saying they're not preparing for it. Every time they put them on weather alert, severe weather alert, that is, they're always saying, oh, it does come. Acts of God you never have any control over. You don't know when it's coming. You don't know anything. All they need to do is to prepare. Is there anybody out there who was in Jamaica during Gilbert? I wonder. When Gilbert came. Well, I had already shared my story about that because my roof went and I looked up in the sky. And a hurricane is really, really a devastating thing, especially when you are affected by it, when your house is wrecked, you have no water, you have no food, resources are limited, you have to become some. It's really, really a devastating feeling. And why people in low-lying areas don't want to leave property. Sometimes when you look at the property, with all due respect, you're wondering, so what you hold into that for? Because sometimes they're living on a pinnacle. If a good wind blows, the house themselves will just fall apart. Do you ever think about these things? They don't want to let go of what they have, which is all they have. And we get that, but it's best to save your lives. You always acquire something, and even better too. Anybody agree with me? I do believe so. 23 minutes after the hour, 5 o'clock. You know how we do here. It's now time for me to say hello, hello, hello to all the people who I know, who I don't know, who know me and who don't know me. I get that in a capsule. I believe I did. You know me, I perhaps don't know you. You know me, know you about that, and you've never met me, and you are here with me. A lot of times you hear our voices and you've not met us, and you try to picture in your minds what the person looks like. You know what happens too. So welcome Pepper Light from Dex gave the shout out that he's Pepper Seed. I've not left that off. I say Pepper Light, Pepper Seed, or Bobcat, Eddie, Norms, Gloria, Gloria, Picture and Yam Lady, Arlene, Farai, K-Star, Sharon Hamilton, Pearson, Betty Love, Juliet, Dawn Short are saying hi to everybody this afternoon. Fiona and Bro Joe, to Kate, to Donald, to Daisy, to DL, to Vernon. Vernon called me, man, the other day last night we were chatting, right, Vernon? And to Bushy, to Shriv, hey Shriv, hey Steph. You know, I'm saying that loud because they're here. Shriv and Steph and Jamar, I love bump. Anybody know I gave that name to Jamar? He had a love bump on his face, and that became his name. I'd like to say hi to Carmen. Saying hello to all those who are listening to me on the World Wide Web, www.linkageradio.com, and also on TuneIn Radio. You can run to the Linkage Radio app. Dial 712-432-6858. This is Linkage Radio 101.5 FM, bringing you the best in roots, rock, reggae, R&B, disco, gospel, calypso, and a host of other selections aired right here on this your budding and buzzing station. And we're like bees. We're just all over the place. No matter what they do, we're still here. The hive is still active. How about 25 minutes after 5 o'clock? Let's go. You know how we do. On a Monday, I have to take you to my dance class. It's called the Monday Beat. How about that? Chasing the babies, here. If you're dragging yourselves around, stop dragging. Stop dragging. Get into the groove with me right now. This is how we do. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's go.
The station that rules the shed. From state to state, country to country, we play the hits just for you.
It's Monday Drive on my beat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're live on air. You're live on the radio.
can't stay alive without your love. Oh, baby, don't leave me this way. No, I can't exist. I'll surely miss your tender kiss. Don't leave me this way. Baby, my heart is full of love and desire for you. Come on down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in top. Now can't you see it's burning out of control? Come on, satisfy the need. 'Cause only your good loving can set me free. No, don't you leave me this way. No. Don't you understand? I'm at your command. Oh, baby, please, please don't leave me this way. No, baby, don't leave me this way. No. I can't survive, can't stay alive without your love. Baby, don't leave me this way. My heart is full of love and desire for you. So come on down and do what you gotta do. You started this fire down in my soul. And can't you see it's burning out of control? So come on, satisfy me. Only your good loving can set me free. Need your loving, baby. Need your love right now. Baby, please. Come on, satisfy the need in me. Come on, satisfy the need in me, baby. Come on, satisfy the need in me.
The Monday beat, chasing the Monday blues out of here. Music. Five 45 p.m. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's a great day. It's a beautiful day. Hello, everyone. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is how I'm bringing it down on the Monday beat this afternoon. George McRae.
Baby
Oh man, I gave you music, taking you back in time. Wrapping it up with George McRae. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Monday drive on a beautiful Monday afternoon here in New York. My name is Lady D. What's your name? What's your name? It's the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. The telephone numbers to Linkage Radio Studio, 914-6600-4228, 914-202-4934. That's 914-600-4228, 914-202-4934. I understand the caller of the week is Tashana Reed. Tashana, congratulations. How are you today? Tell someone to tell someone to tell someone else, won't you, that the show is on. It's called Inside the Zone. It's a Monday Drive. As always on a Monday, I'm always taking you back in time. However, this video clip, which will be audio for you, like I am watching it, but I'm taking you back a little bit to Hurricane Gilbert, because as you know, Matthew is busy out there, and we are going to be talking this afternoon about all the headlines that I have been able to pick up on your behalf. You know, went out there browsing. It sounds fancy when we say that, don't it? Like really working hard. Everything is at the touch of a finger. I want to hi to DL and all those who are listening to me this afternoon. 10 minutes to 6 o'clock, and the show ends at 7 o'clock, and we will be talking. Did you hear about what happened to Kim Kardashian? I mean, she was out on her trip. She's over in Paris, and lo and behold, on Monday, Kim Kardashian left an intimate Fashion Week reception and dinner in the Marais section of Paris, at which truffled scrambled eggs, white fish, and copious amounts of champagne were served. You just hear hobnobbing right there, don't you? Yeah. And so what happened is that she and her sister Courtney, they were all there together, and she posed for some, paparazzi waiting outside. And about 2.5 hours later, French officials said Miss Kardashian West was robbed at gunpoint of jewelry worth at least 8 million euros, or nearly $9 million, which is US dollars we're talking about here. She was alone in a luxurious apartment in the 8th arrondissement, nearly 2 miles from the dinner, when two men burst in, tied her up, and gagged her, then escaped with at least 3 accomplices. Now, people are asking the question, why is it that she walked with so many pieces of jewelry? But, here they are out on the catwalk, walking by, pictures snapping here and there. And, these people are extravagant in their lifestyle. Nothing you can do about that. Sometimes I wonder, if when we nitpick at these things that stars do, people of a certain name, we nitpick at them, but sometimes if we were in that position, if we ourselves would do the same thing. So that's a late headline, and they're trying to see if they can find out if this was an inside job, because who knows, people could have been working alongside a part of the security detail. These people have security. I mean, you're walking with millions worth, and your lifestyle comes with a certain, and likely they will kind of nap you up there. How about that? So unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. Nobody wants to know that people just come and rob them things just like that. So I'm going to take you now into our headlines, and we'll be talking this afternoon about people are preparing for it, people are not preparing for it, and I'm going to take a call from the Skype line. Good afternoon. How are you? Welcome.
Hey, sweet voice.
What's going on there, Pepperlight, Pepper Seed?
What's going on?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day today.
I'm on in time because I was just calling on last week with Mr. Matthew.
Yes, Matthew.
Is
People,
it pass us or is it
oh man, it's still trickling heading.
or head on for Jamaica?
Well, at this point, because I've been tuning to Power 106 and to Nationwide, and RGR this morning, and the last report I heard is that it was still on a steady path. They were not certain if the eye would be hitting us directly, but at this point, they don't want to, misinform the nation and the world at large. So they are not sure, but it should hit land sometime today.
You mean tonight?
Tonight. Well,
And bad time, because at least at daytime you can see what's going on, say, do something,
That's it, because I remember Gilbert came in the morning, a reasonable time when I was getting ready and going to work, because it was coming, goes to show. So,
Right.
right. So I'm hoping it doesn't hit, in the nighttime, but I've been getting a lot of rainfall. Some
Okay.
areas have been flooded out, and yesterday I'm looking at some live clips that courtesy of Dervin Malcolm of Power 106. Dervin has really he up to late last night he was on air talking to the people from the disaster preparedness committee and different people, different parishes who are spearheading arranging shelters and all the resources that they tap into. But I can say, however, Pepperlight is that they have really been putting a lot in place. Granted, there are hits and misses along the way, but they are not caught working last minute to put anything in
I saw
place.
some fools about claiming that they're not going nowhere.
Well, Ian, it is all about choice. Over the years, the last major hit we had was Hurricane Gilbert back in '88. Fine. There have been others throughout that time that nothing really happened. It came nearby, you get little rainfall, people kept it. And a lot of people grapple about the fact that they've had to go out and buy things because, you don't know the aftermath really of any given hurricane because they come with their own lease on damages, right? Matthew might come and it's nothing in comparison, though it's considered a category 4, and it will be hitting coming from the Portland end of the island. But you don't know. So if you go to the supermarket and you have to purchase whether a whole bag of rice, 10 gill of oil, it matter. It's best as you have the means to secure your staples, secure them. And don't complain now that here it is, the hurricane pass, and they make me go shop out my money. Who knows? People like to just, presume things, assume, and don't want to take advice. Now, if I'm living out in Bull Bay, that I know is prone to a whole lot of stuff going on there, so any area that you have landslides or live in flood-prone areas, it is to leave. So if you're out in Port Royal, where we know what that comes with, what on earth are you to be? Can I say that if you were to return Port Royal, you would say, well, this can be at any time.
I wouldn't let the government tell me to leave because water is on both sides of Port Royal.
Well, my point exactly. And some of the houses, the structures are, can I just say, the structures are not modern.
Right.
So, they will get washed away at some point. So let them stay there.
Like the homes out there must be good. But when them flood waters come in and coming by you, I mean, you can't stay in there.
Exactly. Now, people who have modernized buildings are still concerned that maybe I live in a flood-prone area, I need to get out of here. More so you live in a little, hatched up something. And they have multiple people living in these places. You know, a lot of big families out there. I always have children. The last time I went and saw them is not more than 5 at a time in a household. Children are talking in addition to adults.
Wow.
So they need to cut that foolishness. Because now what it's going to cause, you know, Pepper Light, is that in the event the hurricane comes or there is mass flooding, you're going to have a nation now having to pull out all their resources to go rescue them when it could have been avoided. They could have gone to shelters somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
That's added pressure on the system.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't seem to think about it like that. So if anything they have to come for me.
What do you think about Portmore? Because you Portmore and
Well, Portmore, I live in Portmore. That's where my station is at this time.
that's all?
But you have to remember that in Portmore, like where I live along the Bridgeport Street, there's no flood areas going on there. If you're talking about like North Edgewater, where they're close to the sea itself, the ocean,
That's what I'm
right
talking
there,
about.
those people back there, I'm not aware if they have been given the mandate to move, but certainly if the water rise, they would have to leave out of there. But in recent times, you've not been having flooding when you have rainfall, whether you know inclement weather bring on heavy rainfalls. You hardly have Portmore going through that, and that's because over the years the developers have gotten a good grip on the land mass itself and how much dumping needs to be done to create that solid foundation to prevent that kind of problem over the years. So invariably we really have that. People who live in Hellshire and you know areas like that, they're on a pinnacle. Their houses were built up into the Hellshire, who are always, you know, doing their sales and so on. Naturally, they had better not be there, because the water, just the other day, they had to start dumping up along there, you know, because it was changing course. The water come much closer to where people have their shacks selling their fish and all that.
What I would say about this storm, if it does hit, and if it is a category 5, I would consider it to be worse than Gilbert in the sense that, you know, as far as global warming, if it is real, that the sea levels has rose since, Gilbert was 88, so that's 3 years till now.
Right.
And the sea levels rise a lot from that time, plus, you know, the landscape also is different. So, you know, it can be more effective.
Yes. But I don't know, people are hard-headed and they don't want to. No, I can understand if I have a big mansion, I'm saying, boy, look how long I take to build a mansion, and, you know, hurricane just gonna come and mash it up. I get that, materially. And I also get that if you have nowhere else to live, and you live in a small place, and you're in that area, a disaster area, then yes, you say, boy, the last little shack may have going wash away. But what is most important? Isn't it your life first?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But instinctively, we don't think that way. We think of what we're going to leave behind. Next thing you think of, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Or my furniture, or my car, or you know, that's what we think of first. And they're trying to let them understand you have to leave. Because what if there is a roadblock as a result of debris, etc., and nobody can get to you? They're not thinking all them things, you know.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is sad. So I'm hoping, they'll take heed to that. But I'm certainly, because what was aired yesterday, there have been, changes made today. So I really like to pick up the lines so much from yesterday because I know that there are variations and, changes happen along the way. But I certainly am concerned about those people who don't want to move. Hold the line, please, Pepper Line. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Monday Drive.
Lady,
Sir. Yes, sir.
how art thou, my darling?
I am good. Bobcat, what's doing?
I have been to the conversation. I just talked about that same thing with my brother this morning, and
Bobcat,
he-
don't hang up. Hold on. Good afternoon. It's live. All right, they hung up. Yes, go ahead.
what he
Yeah.
was saying to me is that it's not that the people don't want to leave, But the last time they left, when they came back, you don't have nothing but them loot on all them things.
Yes, and I can understand that, Bobcat, but look at it from a more practical standpoint. Fine, they loot.
That life is more important than anything out there, any furniture, anything.
There you go.
The people I look on why them put so much time and energy and now them have to go back again and put time and energy and somewhere they just come pick up everything and gone in a minute.
And I
So,
understand. I do. I do. When Hurricane Gilbert just, can I be truthful? We were not paying attention. I went to church the morning, went back the night. I watched some TV show. I was not putting it to news. And it was until the night when we were going home, we were wondering how it's so windy. So you must know how we're in our own box. We're wondering how this is so windy and stuff. The morning I get up, getting ready to go to work, you must know. And it was then that our neighbor called out and say, to me, Denise, where you going? Because, here's a hurricane. And I'm like, what? Because I would have gone out to go get to work. I'm serious. So, here it is. You have people who knowingly are aware of this impending hurricane called Matthew. And just because of our material possessions, we don't want to leave. But yet, if the thing should really strike us at a category 4, both them, the house, and the possessions would be destroyed.
Gone.
Okay.
Tell me something. In 80,
Uh-huh.
right, that hurricane really take a height on us, right?
Right.
Gilbert. Now, since 1988, information flow like hot pepper
There
to a
you go.
Jamaica. With cable, we have triple the amount of radio stations
That's
that
right.
we had in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
So information is going back and forth like mad.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but then again, that is me. I might be foolish. I would think that will get a little smarter. I would have said smart. I think just talking about to evacuate it because they saw what Gilbert did. I am also thinking about what the government did to make us stronger towards a hurricane or a storm or whatever. And I heard on your program and the morning program also that they had intentions of having the prisoners go down into the gullies
Mm-hmm. And do the cleaning up.
out. So I'm asking myself, if you are a murderer or a thief or a rapist or whatever it is that you did and you are found guilty, I don't believe that you should just sit down and eat up taxpayers'
money.
You understand?
Right.
And go in them and clear it out, and then that is a good vibe. So I just heard that the other day, and I said to myself, God, it look like the idea that we have, it come too late.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? Because, and this is not nothing new. This kind of vibe has been used in many countries. It's over. It has been used in the USA. It's over. And sometimes I wonder if we are taking note of what things happen. Because it's not everything that is used and weird we must take up with it. But we can't go and look at it and say that this thing benefit us. And if it can, then we try it out. And if it works out for us, then great. If it don't work for us or it don't look like that go well with us, because it's not everything that do in the US or England or Britain that work well will work well in Jamaica, because it's a different culture.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that regard, I mean, I pass along 222nd Street, for example, and you will see inmates out there, but they have their security thing in place. They're sweeping up and doing all kinds of things. Now, if they're to take this approach in Jamaica, it simply means they're going to have to apply the same principle. We complain a lot that here we are having the prisons all packed up, and I'm talking about Jamaica now, all packed up with all these people eating up taxpayers' money. So if they can create a way, a mirror image of what goes on here in the US, to have them go out, go clean the grids and so on, as long as they have security in place to watch these men doing what they are mandated to do, then fine. And then you get them back into their cells. To me, that would make people feel good to say, well, that I'm going to go find something to do now, because all in India do I eat to gym and what you.
But they would need very good security, I'm telling you though, because you see, once something like this become active and then certain people certain people are going to come out and do them kind of clean up there, they'll show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is why you have to have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D if anything go wrong.
Right.
You can't just be looking where feet are. You have to be looking around the corner and what's wrong and how you can fix it.
Because you see, we don't have power in our security forces. We don't, unless they're gonna now call out the JDF, because usually the JDF they tend to use them for this, because they were trained for something like this. So they would have to call out the JDF to back up the police force. That's how that would work. And
Well, that would be best. This way we wouldn't have to take the police off their regular duties, because
Right.
I mean, unless something serious happens, the JDF they pretty much just sit on this and just relax or whatever they have to do.
that's how
You know,
that would
to work.
Because you see, remember back in '88, Bobcat, you're right, we were not privy to information across the board coming out as instant as it is today. Since the advent of social media, I mean, all what not supposed to be out there, but nevertheless. So we are all kept abreast of what is going on. Now, remember when 88, looting, people died, because some got washed away in their motor cars, etc., and their houses too, and that took place like in St. Thomas and all those places. People trying to cross over gully with car and all them kind of, foolish. You if I remember clearly, I lived there, so I know. You see, you're using your radio because you had no power. electricity had to be cut and all those things. You had no telephone lines. Since then, they knew that to have lines running above was not the way to go. So now they run underground, right? So that would also allow you to still be in communication. Even if you have to cut power, fine. You use a Tilly lamp, you whatever, to keep home sweet home. You can do what you have to do. Business places were locked down, places routed. Now the companies themselves have covered their own backs because they can't rely on any other resource to come in and help them with that. So companies have really battened down now because they're waiting for Matthew to come. And if it doesn't come, thank God. If it comes, at least they have prepared themselves. They have looked out for their staff, because I was listening to the radio Jamaica, because I can't rely on nothing over here to give me that bit of information. So companies are really also, concerned about their staff and their staff family and all that kind of thing. Make sure, because half of your staff wash away and you open business tomorrow, what happened? So they're backing up left, right, and center. So I think that's fine. So I think, thank you, Pepperline. So I think, we really have come a long way. And in the event Matthew does make for all the thing about Matthew, it's not like Gilbert who just barged in. It is a crawler. And that's why, the office is putting out the information. Please don't think that might not hit you, because you see you're not feeling no breeze right away and things like that. It is just a different pattern that Matthew comes with.
What it boils down to is proactive.
Right.
It boils down to proactive, and I would love with country to take proactive action in everything. You understand? And I mean, not to get away from this Hurricane Matthew and thing, but I love them take proactive action in everything they do. Because some people feel like in the situation with the IMF, some people feel like we have the IMF, and that is going to be our life forever. We must try to get away from the IMF, work our way out, and have our own life.
Well, that's a process.
I mean, what a lot of people don't understand is that the IMF is there to keep us down. It's not there to really help us. It's to keep us in bondage.
Well, anything you borrow, you're going to have to pay back, right?
Not so that them don't really have a good heart towards us.
Well, yeah. If the IMF loans the country millions of dollars to cover whatever they say they need to cover, why can't you just use the word debt? Whatever it is that they need to cover. Then at some point, that is why you find increase in certain basic items and all that, because they have to now find a way to pull that money back to be able to pay off the debt. Now, if you have ongoing debt where every time you have to go borrow back, you're going to have that kind of stress. Where you find that money from? The people will have to pay it, but it's a mechanism that is applied to pay it back. So we talking about you right here now, how we should get out of debt. Take it from me, Bobcat. The debt is not going to be taken care of right away. Because one, some of us who have gone overseas and studied and so on, we don't go back to the nation. We gone elsewhere. The few people that are there earning minimum wage and all kind of stuff can't pay enough taxes by the time they are taxed. The wealthy still find way, just like the typical candidate here in this country, still find way in Jamaica to offset a lot of things. And that's the problem we have. So if you continue to tax the people in Jamaica, they're not going to go home with nothing to eat. You know, and so when they try to find the loopholes to implement these increases, that's what you're gonna have. You're still gonna have the IMF debt.
Well, before I go, one thing I is that sometimes I think we've gotten so, well, in Jamaica, I think that we've gotten so foreign-minded that we think we need some things that we don't need, and we need to get out of that mindset and put away those things and just have our minds on the things that we need, the right food that we need, the build the right things.
I agree
And
with you.
teach our children and our people the right things. And I see some good things going on, don't go feel no way because they have implemented the teachings of Marcus Garvey in the school. That's very good. Marcus Garvey has made his people know who they are, where they're coming from and where they're going. And if we can take up that kind of movement, we can't go wrong. It's not going to be something that's done overnight. Any journey starts with first step.
Well, can I say that late Michael Manley wanted to take the nation. Well, let me rephrase that. Michael Manley he was a man ahead of his time. When he talked about people had learned to be self-reliant, people thought that he meant that they should be poor. But he was simply saying that we needed to plant our own, reap our own, feed our own. That's all he was saying, and we would be able to build. We would be able to build the nation. Yet,
when you have people who don't understand, they don't know that some of us who never go to school, we don't get the teaching, we don't understand what's going on. And then when Michael look at it and say, hey, you know what? I can learn a lot from Cuba. Cuba have the best doctors.
there you go.
Cuba have some great things going on there. Him don't want to be like Cuba in the sense that him going to have that Cuban type of
community strategy. No, that's his plan. But
people don't look at it that way. And then now the people who thinking very political, what they do now is put out propaganda out there and put people in mind and make the people think elsewhere and otherwise.
Right, and that's why a lot of people sold out their houses and left and went away, leaving.
Because we're
So that was another turning point in the nation's economic.
We need to understand the truth of what we need in this life, and it doesn't mean that we need to act like the U.S. or act like Britain or act like any other country. We need to be ourselves. Hey, we can do without this. We can do without that. This is what we need to learn, and we'll move on from that end.
Right.
If we learn how to do that, we will be a great nation. But until then, we are going to suffer.
That's right.
Anyway, do your thing.
Love you. Bye. Take it easy.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Thanks to Pepperlight and to Bobcat. You started off. We've discussed. We have a comment. 22 minutes after 6. 914-600-428. 914-202-4934. The show is called Inside the Zone. Today's segment is the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city, walk, drive, and reside. I have a headline here. Mackenzie reports 30 people still on Keys. 2 now appealing for help to evacuate. You heard us talking about that, right? A woman and a child from Port Arthur on Otter Bay, St. Mary, moving the low-lying area before the arrival of Hurricane Matthew. The local government minister Desmond Mackenzie is reporting
that 30 people remain on the Keys despite the efforts of the Jamaica Defense to evacuate them. At least two fishers now appealing for help to return to the main. You know what I can never understand? Fishermen, as long as I lived in Jamaica, fishermen tend to always want to go out when they hear that a hurricane is coming or some weather condition of sorts. They always wanted to go out, and they always wanted to try and see how much fish they could catch before it come, not realizing that when they're out on the seas, they're out to the elements, nothing there to save. And you know how many fishermen died in this regard? And there were still fishermen about 3 days ago trying to get out there. I don't know what is wrong with these people. You can only catch so much fish out of a sea, and fine, they might have wanted to go out there to make that haul so that they could perhaps sell if the hurricane hits and so on. If they don't have enough ice, I don't know how that would happen either, because we know fish. But truthfully, people want to always beat a thing. Whether it's a system, a condition, people will always try to do that. Isn't that something? Oh boy, I tell you. Once again, 914 I had to talk about that because I heard of it. 914-600-4228, 914-202-4934. It's a Monday drive. Keep the know, news, happenings, and facts. If you'd like to call, you may call me. Once again, the telephone numbers are 914-600-4228, 914-242-4934. Did you know that there are men and women, and perhaps I'm speaking to some of you this afternoon. Did you know there are men and women who had traveled to the United States to do apple picking, cane picking for many years, and out of the trips that they took on this back-breaking exercise, believe me, they were pay their children's way through school. Their children came out exceptionally well, and I'd just like to ask the question: do you think that parents who have had to struggle very, very hard to send their children to school have seen their life's work pay off because their children have done very well, as opposed to children who were brought up into, old money and all that? They always had it. I can say that when I was going to school, there was one boy I remembered. And I'm using this as my prelude because there's a headline here that really impressed me. Because I was going to school, there's a community a distance away from us named Mount Hindmost. That's in North Central Clarendon. And there was this young man who attended Clarendon College. Tall, lanky. You look at him, you think he's an African. You think he's from Ghana. And I'm telling you, when you see that boy would be passing my house at wee hours like 5 o'clock, to you, then we call bus stop, bus line, right? Down the road to take the bus to head to Clarendon College. Not because he wanted to leave that early, but because of the distance away. He would have to get up early, had no electricity, and that boy would study with his lamp. Bright. When I say bright. And he did so well. He would go home, do his homework, head to his bed early, and the cycle would just continue until he graduated. And he did very, very well until he had gotten a scholarship and went overseas. And when I compared him to us, and other children when we were growing up who had electricity, plus had the ability, so it's either you study when you felt like, but you would still pass the exam, or there were others who parents, young Joe, you had to. But I realized that parents who really, really did their all for their children, most of their children made them proud. I don't know if you're speaking to that with me, but here is a young man who is now the mayor of uh, of Miramar in Florida, and he was elected mayor in last year, and he has been on a trail of success in the U.S. He was raised in that town in Miramar, and he's a brilliant young mind and a successful businessman. And one may wonder if, he has fallen in love with his island. Well, he wasn't born in Jamaica. His parents are from Jamaica, so he's Jamaican descent. And he's now the mayor, and he is a first generation American born to Jamaican parents who came to the U.S. His father was a contract cane cutter in the U.S. for almost 2 decades. And this young politician, he was first of 2 children, and he has three elder siblings were born in Jamaica, but he was born in the U.S. And he said that with parents from Jamaica, he always had a yearning to visit the island, and he has been going there now about 7 times, 7 trips. He regards his father so highly because he said that his father worked very, very hard to put him and his siblings through school. And now he's the mayor of Miramar. So when you have success stories like these, you are working, taking care of your children, and maybe in the instant, in the moment, you don't feel like anything is going to happen. Maybe they're seemingly selfish and not recognizing all that you are doing. But believe me, sometimes in their own minds, they do realize that you work hard. And now he's taking care of his parents and, feeling so proud. So I am really, really, giving parents who have worked hard, because no joke, I have an uncle who has done this whole apple picking, cane cutting thing for many years, and I give it to them, boy, because it wasn't easy. And when you would see them come home, their cookies and looking flashy, all that they deserve to look flashy, because they have to bend their backs in the sun, cutting cane, picking apple, and all kinds of stuff. Not an easy life either. And over time, many of them were able to acquire their green card. A lot of them had gotten their green cards just like that. Very easy. They didn't have to go through the rigors of trying to get a green card or taking severe measures to acquire a green card. So I just want to say kudos to all of you. Those who didn't cut any cane or pick apple, but you are working very hard, I would say my hat go off to you, because your children have made you proud. Now, here is a news item as well that came out. I don't know if you know of it, on Thursday, but the Jamaica Labour Party minority leader in St. James Parish Council, his name is Senator Charles Sinclair, he has welcomed the announcement by Commissioner of Police Dr. Carl Williams that St. James will be divided into police divisions as part of efforts to curtail criminal activities in the parish that has accounted for over 200 since the start of the year. 2,000 is 200 is too much. St. James at Montego Bay, we talk about Montego Bay a lot, and that's too much. And he says that they think that that's a good idea, because if they do the split and have it in 2 divisions, you will have proper staffing for one, for the 2 police centers, and then they would be better able to manage the calls that they receive. Because no sense at a time in crisis in the parish of St. James. It does not help to have one police station when a murder or something going on over in Anchovy and somewhere else over in somewhere else. But by the time they journey to get there, everything just fall apart. Crime scene, people invading the space, taking all kinds of photographs and posting them out. Because I don't know if you've seen some things that have been appearing on social media. It's just bad. So I think this is a very idea, and this would be a way for them to kind of manage the best way they can with the resources that they have to stem what's gone in the parish of St. James. So that's just a heads up for you with that. Now, what about this headline here that took us off guard? It threw me for a loop. I heard it about the mother and son found dead with gunshot wounds to their heads in the Bronx. Sharon Epps, 50, and Terrell Bell, 27, found bedrooms inside the first floor of Fulton Avenue near East 174th Street in Claremont. A 49-year-old man who answered the door for first responders was being at the 42nd Precinct Station House. That took place on Saturday night. He had not been charged but was being treated as a person of interest. Firefighters had responded to a report of a gas odor at the building at about 7:30 p.m. At about the same time, there was a report of someone in cardiac arrest. After finding both victims, first responders immediately alerted police. Both victims at the scene. Soon after the shooting, a man came out of the building screaming that his was dead. A building worker told the news source. More than 24 neighbors and apparent loved ones clutched each other outside, many of them wailing with grief. Oh boy. Am I to understand that, they were just shot for no reason? Is something on the back end that we do not know of? We wonder sometimes, or sometimes people are involved in anything and things happen, but then we have to wait for the investigation to go through, don't we? When you hear headlines like this, it makes you cringe. 6:36 p.m. It's a great afternoon here on Monday Drive. How are you? If you'd like to call me, share your thoughts. 914-600-4228, 914-202-4934. Six men beat a 36-year-old man into critical condition after the group saw the man shove a woman outside a Bronx steakhouse early Sunday. Investigators said the man was seen arguing with a woman before he pushed her to the ground outside the restaurant near West 230th in Kingsbridge. The group then intervened and brutally beat the man at about 4:20 a.m. Emergency responders rushed to St. Boniface Hospital in grave condition with severe head trauma. The suspects fled the scene on foot and remain at large. Oh Lord. All right. So he pushed her. I'm sure the force of the shove or the push that he carried out. But man, did they have to beat him, kill him? I mean, he's not dead, but in critical, my apologies, in critical condition. Did they have to beat him? I know that it is not for a man to hit a woman, even if you should shake him up a little bit. But I'm sure they gave him a walloping. And now he's in critical condition. That's unfortunate. Ah, Lord, I guess they were sending a message I'm sure well received. What do you all think? Oh my God. It's a Monday Drive. Got more music for you. If you'd like to interrupt me at any time, you may by calling 914-600 202 4934 914-600-4228 914-202-4934. I'm going to play some music right about now, 6:38 p.m. and you may call me, as I said. I will be sourcing some additional information for you about Hurricane Matthew, and I will bring that to you in seconds. How about that? Stay with me, ladies and gentlemen. This is Link Radio 101.5 FM. Don't anywhere. My name is Lady D.
Many times I thought that we'd reach the edge. But you found a way. Found a way to give us life again. So we count the blues and mend the broken parts. Learn each day. got a secret crush, boy, and I crave your touch. Baby, should I love you like I do? I can fill all your needs, 'cause I aim to please. Baby, should I want you like I do? She has her pride, I will put mine aside. Baby, should I know you like I do? I would give up the world to make me your girl. And oh, baby, I can see you're lonely. These arms are waiting to comfort you. Give you all you need. If you come to me, I'll be the woman of your dreams. Baby, come to me. Got this fire in my soul burning out of control. Baby, should I love you like I do? I would put you first, love you like a curse. Baby, should I want you like I do? Shoot your heart, but we'll never part. I know you like I do. I'll be your best friend for life if you make me your wife. And oh, baby, I can see you're lonely. These arms are waiting to comfort you. Give you all you need. If you come to me, I'll be the woman of your dreams. Baby, come to me. I can turn a house into a home. Give me to you and you alone. Love you to your bones. Turn into comfort. Show you.
Good afternoon. Welcome. How are you?
A pleasant evening to you, my sister. How are you?
Dear Miss Patricia, how are you?
I am good. I'm good. I called a couple of times.
You know,
But-
I switched over and wanted to. Then I heard, the signal. I'm like, oh, I lost the call. How are you?
Yes, I am good. I'm good. Yes, you was on the topic of the hurricane and how unprepared sometimes, people in Jamaica can be. And I just wanted to give you a little update on the hurricane. I was looking on the map
Right.
on Facebook, and at 5 p.m. this evening, that says the eye of Hurricane Matthew was located 225 miles southwest of Port-au-Prince, Haiti.
Right.
Matthew is still a dangerous Category 4 hurricane. Maximum sustained winds remain near 140 miles per hour with higher gusts, and it's moving toward the north near 7 miles per hour. So a northward motion is a faster toward speed is expecting through Tuesday night. The eye of the hurricane, Category 4, with winds of 140 miles per hour, is expected to pass east of Jamaica and over or close to southwestern of Haiti. On the forecast track, the center of mass will approach southwestern Haiti tonight,
Right.
move near eastern Cuba Tuesday, and move near or over portions of the southwestern central Bahamas Tuesday night and Wednesday. A turn toward the northwestern is forecast on Wednesday.
Okay.
So I guess Jamaica is not really actually out yet. They're getting a lot of rain and wind, so
Right.
they have to be prepared. But this hurricane, if it hits, it should have a catastrophic, impact on Haiti. I mean, we can see each time that there is a hurricane, Haiti will always be affected.
Oh, yes.
And they poor people, they're in such dire straits as it is, and to have this hurricane. But God is God. He knows what he's doing.
That's right.
Yeah. So
And
we just have to pray. We just have to pray for Haiti and pray for Jamaica also. So it is what it is. My heart goes out to these disenfranchised people as it is. I know I was caught up in a hurricane. It was a storm. I was already here for Gilbert, but my mom mentioned to me the hurricane that struck Jamaica in 1951. I was born on the day of the hurricane.
Oh, what you saying to me?
August 16, 1951, and my mom was in the hospital and it was flooded and she had to hold me up in the air.
Oh, that's Charlie.
So,
Was that Charlie?
yeah. Yes, Hurricane Charlie,
Yes.
you got it. So when my mom mentioned about a hurricane to me, I said, oh my God, but I was never in a hurricane there, but a couple of storms passed through, and I tell you, the impact of the rain, oh God, I remember it rained one time for a whole week. Oh, we prayed to see the sun, oh God, so,
I know.
you know, my heart go out to, you know, folks there who, you know, are less unfortunate, you know, than myself, you know, but all I can do is just offer up some prayers for them.
Prayers,
Not
yes.
much we can do right, you know.
That's
Prayer
so
is good
true.
enough.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true. Because you had Gilbert in 88, you had Ivan,
Yes.
you had Ivan in
Ivan.
2004, you have Allen in 1980,
Alan,
you have
Yes.
you had Hurricane Dennis in 2005, you had
My
Charlie, Hurricane Charlie also in
Mm-hmm.
2004, you had Wilma in 2005, you had Hurricane Dean in 2007. In 2008, you had Gustav, Charlie in 1951, Iris 2001, Flora in 1963. You had Lily in 2002, Hazel in 1954, Emmy in 2005, Matthew was a tropical storm, Matthew in 2010.
back before, yes, this one now.
You had Carmen in 74, Ernesto in 2012. You had Hurricane Erin in 1985, Marco in 96, Galveston in 1800. Then you had Michelle in 2001, Paloma in 2008, Gordon in 94. Then what is this? Fifi Arlene in 74. You had
Wow.
Isidore in 2002. We could go on and on and on.
On and on and on. Thanks
Yes.
for the
Yes. So
impact. Have you seen the impact? What would you say as the male name hurricanes? Are they more dangerous
I would say
categorically
the
as
male-
opposed to the female
yes.
names?
That's my conclusion. That I affirm. That's my conclusion. That male hurricanes seem more
Devastating.
yes,
the
and
impact
forceful.
of their
Yeah,
destruction.
man.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow. But you know, these are this is nature. It's doing what it's supposed to do. You know, these things.
Yes.
When we talk about global warming, you know, we just have to look out for our environment also. You know, just be careful. But
Yes.
just ask of God.
And
you know,
there are
and-
many people who can tell you about all these hurricanes
Oh,
and
yes.
storms that have
That
passed. Seen them all.
impact on them. Yes.
They've
my
seen
God.
them all. I tell you. So that's why we're so concerned when people don't want to leave. You know,
Yes.
their positions, and I
God.
understand. You know, I do because those people who are, you know, in low-lying areas and all that,
Absolutely.
you know, they might have nowhere else to go. That's what I was saying to Bobcat and to Pepper Light.
Yes.
Some people don't
Yes.
have nowhere else to go. Their living situation is what it is. You know,
Yes.
whether it's densely populated, you know,
Absolutely.
area.
It's frightening. And there are those now who do have the opportunity to go, but they're afraid to leave. But, you know, the looters.
Yes.
You know, we have seen the impact of certain tragedies that occur right here in the United States, you know, and these acts of God,
Yes.
once they are occurring, there are the looters and the wrong have an agenda because that is their time and opportunity to
That's
get what
right.
to take advantage of people who have, as they would say. But you know, we just wise. That's all we can do.
That's all
just
we
be
can
wise
do.
and just pray up for each other, you know, and just help out whenever we possibly can.
Can. Yes.
If it wasn't for the mercy of God, we ourselves would become victims.
That's right. Well, I safely say that I had the Gilbert experience.
Yes.
Not that I was wishing for to see any hurricane of any magnitude,
Yes.
and it hit, and I saw the sky from my bedroom.
Yes. I remember I hear you
Yeah,
talking about it.
that
I said,
day,
oh my God.
that day, I mean, we were just moving furniture here, furniture there, then water, and the thing blow
Mm,
off, the shingle fly off. Oh my God!
wow.
No, no,
Were you in denial? In denial? You didn't
no,
think
it
it would
wasn't.
hit?
No, it wasn't that. We just were not paying
You're
attention.
not paying
In
attention.
other
I,
words, we didn't tune in that weekend
okay.
to TV
I
and
see.
radio much. There was
Yes, I
some
see.
there was some series going on TV. So when I got home from
Oh,
church that morning after dinner and everything, I couldn't wait to just hurry up and watch.
go back to go church.
And then
Okay.
I went later in the night to church, and still not even in church. It was one of
No,
there's
there was
some
no announcement. There was
you
no
know
announcement made.
that's why
Wow.
sometimes when people get caught off guard, I try not to be too
Too judgmental
judgmental.
because you know
There you
it
go.
happened to you. It happened to you.
There you go.
Wow. Okay, Lady D, well,
All right.
it's almost closing time, and I just
Yes.
want to say it was nice listening to the program. I enjoyed it as usual, and all the participants on the program, thank
Yes.
you,
Yes.
because I learned from others, and hopefully others can learn from me.
That's right. Thank you,
So,
my roving
thank you for
reporter.
coming to our homes, and you have a great evening.
Thank
Get
my
home safe.
roving Lord, man,
Okay.
I need to say thank you, my roving reporter.
Okay, lady.
All
Blessings
right.
now.
Blessings
Blessings
to
and love.
you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had a great afternoon. Thanks to all those who made it work. I didn't hear from Don, and I didn't hear from DL, and I didn't hear from Vernon. Is what to do now? What did I do? I'm just joking. Blessings to you, everybody. Had a great afternoon. Those of us who have families in Jamaica, and if you have family in Haiti or across the Caribbean, keep in touch, no matter how challenging it is, because we know it is challenging. They're there. I've said it before. You see ever coming in, you say what now, but nevertheless, they're first family, and we can't do without them. When I can do without friends and say I can't bother, I'm still genetically connected to some, you know, biologically, somebody and I related. And so I am thankful that, we can reach out and touch each other. As always, love yourselves, love your children, and remember in everything you do, it is the will of God in your life. I had a great afternoon with you. Hope you did with me too. Looking forward to this coming Thursday to do it all over again on Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. And for those of you, I have another roving reporter. He only communicates by Facebook. But anyway, he says that I'm taking his suggestion. He says I can let my listeners know they can send their suggestions of any kind to OPM, that's Office of the Prime Minister, OPM at opm.gov.jm. Once again, if you have concerns, you can drop line to opm.gov.jm. If you want to know anything, just send them an email. And get it. Thank you, my Facebook reporter. All right. Blessings, everybody. Love yourselves as always. Love your children. Hug them tight. Don't lose the moments you have with your children. I used a lot of time when I had mine, and I tell you, it still makes me good that I was always there. So, blessings to you, even if they're bothering you. Take the little bother. Don't make it a biggie. Make sure you look out for them. And I'm going to be presenting a feature on Thursday, something that concerns me, and I won't give too much of that right now, but it has to do with our children. All right, gotta go. Because Pastor Isaacs and Brother Andrew will be coming up. Pastor Andrew and Pastor Isaacs. They'll be coming up right after me. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, everyone, and I'm glad you got the chance to sit back, listen,
and participate, those of you who did. And I'm looking forward again to being on Thursday. What can I say? Blessings another time. Can I give you more blessings in abundance? And to say love, love, I am out of here.
Want you to be in love with me like both used to be.
Want us to last to the end of time, like old time nursery rhymes.